But then he can be the worst one for it as well.
Oh, absolutely. If you catch him in a good mood, like yesterday, you caught him in a very good mood. Silly canal.
Very, very good mood. He was in too much of a good mood yesterday. All I was trying to do was do a handstand and I got gyrated upon.
Well, you know, he just got a little bit excited.
He did.
Actually, let's not say that.
He took the opportunity. He took the opportunity. Saw an opportunity.
And he went for it.
And took it with both legs.
What a businessman.
He did. He did. I can't look him in the eyes anymore. But welcome to the latest edition of the How I Failed in Business podcast with me, Rob Spence.
And me, Sophia Grace.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
I'm glad
I've not seen you all day.
I don't know why I said that. I see you like 20 times a day.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you've not given up on this.
Nope, not giving up. In fact, more and more passion is growing. I think we're also getting a little bit more smooth on the introduction there. It feels a little bit like less ham-fisted than it did at the start.
I think we're getting into the swing of things. We're in our homemade recording booth again.
Oh, yeah. And
we've started to script these a little bit more.
A little bit more. By a little bit, you really, really mean a little bit. Like on this piece of paper, it says chit-chat. And that's...
But no, it doesn't just say chit-chat though, does it? What else does it say?
It says...
General chit-chat.
General chit-chat.
Because I didn't just want chit-chat. I wanted
forbid.
General chit-chat. And who's the person that's supposed to lead the chit-chat?
I'm supposed to be leading the chit-chat.
And you are. I think you are leading the chit-chat.
Thank you so much.
It's going really well. Going really well for a bit of chit-chatty.
Shall I go through the next point on our script?
Well, we don't want to turn it into really scripted
No.
nonsense.
I'm doing it bullet point by bullet point. That's what you've done. That's what you've done. Do you know what? This has all come from the fact that when we very first started this podcast and me getting involved in the podcast, I said to Rob, okay, what's the plan for the podcast? How are we going to do this? You know, there's a person coming in for an interview. I'm really quite nervous. You know, how does the format look? And we just went, well, you know, we'll just go and we'll just do it. And I was like, okay, well, who is this person that's coming in? Oh, well, you know, it's this person and they do this and anyway, they'll be here in 5 minutes.
Okay. I may have underestimated the preparation we should have done a little bit. I think
the heart was there.
Yeah. I think the thing is like I've never seen you as a nervous person. So I knew you could just be thrust straight in. You'd be absolutely fine, no qualms. And I am a winger. I'm genuinely a winger.
Do you know what? I really am, and I think that's never really done me wrong at any point except. And I know that this isn't public speaking, and we've spoken before about how it isn't public speaking, but something about it feels like public speaking.
What, the whole podcast?
Yeah.
Really? So you don't feel nervous now?
No, I don't feel nervous now. I mean, I'm in a little cave made of foam blocks. I think if I felt nervous now, that would really be, I mean, it's one away from a padded cell, really.
It's a little bit. That's where I took my inspiration from, to be honest. Where I spent all those nights. But I think everyone, all the feedback I've had, do you know what? I want to raise something here, right? It is annoying how many people compliment and comment on you and how few people compliment and comment on me.
I had comments on you. I had people tell me that your mic was too loud. That's the
exactly.
comment that I had.
Exactly. I've had, she's great. She's really good. She sounds incredible. Rob, your mic's too loud. That's the feedback I've had.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, I'm young. It's more unique.
Well,
I would be.
You say you're young. Oh God, I thought I nearly knocked over the booth.
It's
you
just a comment about my age.
You've got a birthday coming up very soon.
A birthday coming up. I'm officially aging.
In fact, actually, by the time this episode comes out,
I will have been in my birthday.
You may have aged. Happy birthday. Did you have a good birthday?
I had a great birthday. I passed out, I got arrested. It was a whole thing.
Oh my God. Don't manifest that.
No.
Do not manifest that. But
I would deny that.
Shall we discuss Jayne?
Shall we discuss Jayne? Jayne Brewer. Amazing. I wasn't here for her interview.
You were here in spirit.
I was there in spirit, as always, and that's why I'm here now.
See, I don't even think you were even in the business for when we interviewed Jayne.
No, I don't remember Jayne ever being in the building.
I don't think so. This could have been a late 2023 or very early 24.
Just beat me.
A little bit, but Jayne's conversation was great, and obviously, as always, as part of these overviews, we've got some sound bites to play to later on.
Yes, which I've not heard.
You've not, so we'll play those and obviously just dub those into the recording in due course. But look, from my side, Jayne was a pleasure to interview. It's weird because I've only ever met Jayne, so when we interviewed Jayne, it was only the second ever time I'd met Jayne. And yet we've got such a good connection and good chemistry. She was so easy to talk to, so funny, and so passionate about... Do you even know what Jayne does?
I have no idea what Jayne does. Do you want to tell me what... This is what we said about the lack of planning. This is what he does. What does Jayne do? Who is Jayne?
Okay, so Jayne Brewer is the CEO of 2B Enterprising, and I hope I've said that correct, because once again, I've not really prepared. It's not even on the script. Oh, it is on the script, 2B Enterprising. So Jayne is the CEO of 2B Enterprising, based over in Wales, although they do work over here in the UK. They teach through various techniques, tactics, enterprise and business to like really young primary school children. So... Although, yes, you know, there's that kind of element of enterprise about careers and jobs and prosperity and all that, you know, there is that kind of entrepreneurial enterprise. And they've got a really cool, cute, like little mascot, a little bee. So it's like 2B. I tell you what, let me quickly, obviously you guys and girls listening, you won't be able to see this. But for you, Sophia, you get to see...
Do I get to see the 2B?
You get to see the bee. I think there is a name for the bee, and I forget the name of the bee. Let me find a cute photo of the bee. Okay, I can't find a cute photo of the bee. It's just... Okay, here we go. Here's one. The Bumbles of Honeywood.
That is very, very cute bee.
It is cute. And they print these books that they hand out to all the children.
Love it.
And the idea is what Jayne's trying to do is she's trying to converse and speak with businesses to get them to sponsor and support in the enterprise sessions with the children, to then pay for the books. And in doing so, you get to speak to the children direct and hopefully get some of your merchandise out to the parents.
How absolutely wonderful.
It's great. And I think, look, overall, Jayne was an incredible girl, incredible lady. And she held something back about her that I didn't know until the interview. And I don't think you know this, because once again, you've not listened to it.
I don't know this.
She used to run a speed dating business.
I love that.
She used to run a whole speed dating business over in Wales.
Hilarious.
So in fact, I tell you what, that kind of takes us straight on. Unfortunately, speed dating doesn't come out until Soundbite 2. But shall we listen to the first? I've now shown you the photo of the bee. I've lost the sound bites, but let's listen to Soundbite 1. This is a very, very, very quick one.
Let's go.
So I could pretty much write a business plan for anybody as long as they had the expertise. I was able to sort of pull all of that out. But
oh, that was it. That was literally how short.
Wow. When they say sound bite, they're really not kidding with that one.
That was a sound nibble.
That was a sound nibble. A sound snack.
Sound nibble.
Business plans.
Yeah.
Very important.
Are they?
Did you have a business plan? I think I kind of already know the answer to this.
What do you think?
Fuck no.
Yeah, put simply, there was no plan. There was no plan.
Yeah,
there was
no plan.
Look, I think like 100% there, you know, for some people love business plans. They love to sit there and plan. What I hate about business planning is they're all made up. They're all a facade.
It's all theoretical.
Yeah.
Completely.
Have you ever written a business plan or?
I've written, do you know what? Not a business plan. We've established, I don't have my own business, okay? Rub it in, Rob. But I've made plans.
Sorry, what did you just call me?
Rob.
You said rabbiting Rob.
I said rub it in, Rob.
Oh,
It's deaf, man.
Sorry.
No, I've made plans that were of the business of my life. I've tried to plan that. And like you say, it's not, you know, you make a plan and the gods laugh. I think that you're almost wishing against yourself making a plan. Because you're just measuring yourself against all the things that can go wrong.
True. Yeah, I think you are right. And I think like what I've always hated about them, I think there is some relevance in sort of understanding the business, where you want to be, where you want to go, and so on. But there's always a bit in the business plan where you are encouraged to literally just make up numbers, and they say, right, year 1, what are your sales going to be?
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. Like, who knows that? What about year 2? What about year 3? Like,
you know what? I'm going to spin this around on you.
Okay.
Because you did perhaps the worst thing ever to me. Do you remember this? A while
Me?
ago. In my interview. And you asked the worst question that anyone can ever get asked in an interview. Do you remember what it was?
No, genuinely. Was this wasn't a telephone call? This was the real...
No. When I came in, you asked me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I think that if you asked 1,000 people, what is the question that they least ever want to be asked? It's that question. And
Why is that a bad question?
I I think because it's so difficult to answer. There are so many, because what you're actually asking someone is, do you still see yourself, if I hire you, do you still see yourself at my company in 5 years? That's what you're really asking.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
And so it's so difficult to answer because, like you say, there comes this point where you're filling in such massive blanks where it's like, I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 years. And it's so tricky because part of you just kind of wants to say, well, I hope so, you know, but you can't say that.
No.
I think it's so tricky.
I mean, I think, look, in my defence...
It's a classic question.
It's a classic. And if you remember, right, so I'm going to spin this back around on you, rambling Sophia, rabbiting or whatever you said. The reason I asked that question is because our interview was probably the most unprofessional, most laid back. You see, look, you agreed. You know it was. Yeah. And I had to quickly, on my feet, think, right, what interview question can I quickly conjure up in my head right now? Our interview, put simply, was a conversation. We're just chin-wagging, chatting. Yeah. I'm sure probably 40% of our interview, we were discussing musicals.
We were talking about musicals for an extensive period.
You see? So I had to, at some stage, try and bring it back in. I mean, what would you have rather me said? What are your strengths and weaknesses?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. To be fair, you didn't hit me with, what do you think your biggest weakness is?
Exactly. You see.
It's, of course, my perfectionism.
No, I've got a list. We keep a separate list of all of your weaknesses.
No, that's fair. I've got a list.
But look, we do. Have you seen our business plan now?
I haven't seen our business.
No,
you're very open with it.
See that like blue book that's behind? Can you reach that? So this is my format of business planning now. So Sophia's just handed me a photo book that I. So basically, at the start of the very year. So now we're very open in terms of what we're making, what we're losing, where we're going. So this is our business plan look, and all it is a photo book. There's no kind of forecasting, or there kind of is, but there's kind of like no elements of nonsense. It's kind of like more of a mission book, and we print these off every year, and we kind of go through the whole story of the business, where we're up to. Look at little Connor in that photo there, bless him, young whippersnapper. We kind of talk about strengths, threats, overview of historically where our finances have kind of started from and where they're going, what we've turned over, various graphs where we want to be. So there are plans now.
There are plans. I mean, there's got to be a plan. I think it's naive to think that you can run a business without any kind of business plan.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. I think for me, I know it sounds really cheesy, but one of the reasons why I like business plans is every time I've jotted down like a target or a goal, we've ended up hitting them. Yeah. So like, I'd rather just write something down than just give us something to achieve. So yeah, to answer your question, there was no business plan, but it was nice to hear Jayne's passion for business planning. Yeah. And actually that section, she was talking about a previous career or a previous life, previous job where she was literally just writing business plans for people non-stop. So if you ever do consider leaving us, which I don't encourage, you know where to turn to for a business plan. Fantastic. But here's soundbite 2. Now this brings up speed dating.
And some of my friends had gone speed dating. So when I moved back to Swansea, there was no speed dating companies.
Okay.
So common mistake in business, nobody's doing this. There must be a really big market for it. And it's like, well, either there's a reason people aren't doing it because there isn't a market, or nobody's thought about it. So I set up Swansea's only speed dating company. Wow. And in Swansea, they're called Swansea Jacks. So people used to call me Scylla Jack.
Oh,
I know.
I don't know if that's a good thing or
not. Well,
Did you come out going, surprise, surprise? I can't do the accent.
I absolutely loved it. We did that for 10 years.
Wow, 10 years?
10 years, yeah.
Oh.
So ran an event pretty much every month, one evening a month. It wasn't a huge commitment, but it was a really profitable business. It was a really good, fun business.
So, Sophia, obviously I don't want to put you too much on the spot here. Have you ever been speed dating?
I've never been speed dating.
Really?
Never.
It's quite an awkward... I'll be honest, I thought speed dating was done.
No.
I thought it was...
Do you know what there is now? And this used to take place at a bar that I used to work at, which I won't say the name of. Slow dating.
Explain slow dating to me.
Well, I mean, I guess you can probably guess what I'm going to say.
Dating for slow people.
You can't put that in. No, it's speed dating in the same way where you know, you're sat at a table and then the other person comes and moves around. But you have, I think, 15 minutes per person as opposed to
like the 60 cent or whatever
couple
it
of
is,
minutes that you get in speed dating, which I understand the logic of it. Like 2 minutes is a very difficult time to get it all out there enough for someone to want to sit with you again. But if you're sat with an absolute dud, you've got to sit with them for 15 minutes, which I assume feels like an eternity when you're actually sat there. And you should have seen how drunk some of these people got.
Was that just to like
get through?
loosen the nerves?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of it. So that's still a thing.
Yeah,
that is still a thing. No, and you've never been tempted to
do you know what? If anything would ever put me off, it was seeing these poor people doing it. Which is not to say that it's not a credible business.
No, great business. And of course, if you are listening and you're a fan of speed dating, and you know, then great. You know, it's
and I'm sure it's like you know, you hear the horror stories of things like speed dating and online dating and stuff, but I bet it's got some great success stories.
Oh yeah, I mean, when we're talking to Jayne, and of course, if you don't want to hear the full interview, please do go back and listen to it. That wasn't like a dig at you, by the way. But Jayne was saying like how she knows people that have got married, got engaged, and really generated some results. Every time I think about speed dating, I always think about the 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Oh, what a film!
Do you remember?
Yes. I absolutely know it.
I think like that was my first ever kind of experience of knowing what speed dating was.
Rob, I've got to ask now, back to you. Have you ever been speed dating?
Some of my dates have been very speedy.
They run for the door.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, no, I've never. I don't. Do you know what? Like, for someone who has this like persona of like being confident and going to networking events and stuff, I don't think I'd be able to put myself through that.
Because it kind of is. It's like we were just talking about an interview, really. That's what people they're trying to get the rundown of you ASAP so that they can decide if, you know, you get the time of day or not. I feel like it must feel grilling.
You are literally in the spotlight having someone watch you.
Absolutely.
And so on. But what I loved in that little set, especially in that little soundbite, you know, Jayne ended by saying, you know, it was a really profitable business, which of course is good. But she said it was really a really fun business. She had lots of fun. And I think it's nice to have fun in a business, isn't it?
I think it's one of the most important things, maybe not for everyone, but I think it's such an important thing to have fun in business. It's what really makes most people want to come into work every day.
Agreed. Yeah, I do agree.
You know, like we were saying, monetary value only gets some people so far. They need to enjoy coming into work. They need to enjoy being in that environment, and also things that they do outside of work, which is something that we try and get in on as much as we can, you know. But I think we definitely have fun in the workplace.
Oh, sometimes too much.
Sometimes too much fun.
Sometimes too much fun. But do you know what? I was having this conversation with someone the other day. There's a phone ringing in the background. So we've just had to cut out a massive bit, which I think personifies how much fun we do have in business. Connor may argue that we don't have fun.
Yeah, no. Face like do. Thunder over there.
He knows we all have fun. We do have fun. And I think, like, my mission has always been to, like, have a workplace where we can just enjoy what we're doing.
Yeah.
And there was a moment of realisation. I was speaking to an old school friend. When was it? Gosh, Saturday, I think it was. And, like, he was like, oh, I saw you dressed up as a cow. You remember for the Easter egg hunt? And I was like, mate, this is what I do for work. This is my job. If I could go back to when I first met him when I was like 13 or 14 and say, look, in 20 no.
Yeah.
It is 20 years.
20 years.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'd say, look, you know, this is what you're going to do for a living. Dress as a cow and hide eggs everywhere.
Have your staff go and hunt for Easter eggs.
I know. Well, let's transition into the final and third little soundbite from Jayne's.
Shall we?
I keep losing where it is. Here we go.
So I set up the speed dating business with a friend, and I was she's an environmental health officer actually, but really keen on setting up this business. So we had this great time thinking, and I said, we've got to do a business plan. We've got to do a business plan because you wouldn't build a house without, you know, architecture drawings. Yeah. Let's do our business plan. So we developed the business plan, and we thought we'd done all of our research, and we set out then down Wine Street, which is a which is the street in Swansea that is like party central.
Nice.
So we thought, right, we'll go down Wine Street at about 6 o'clock to speak to some venues about whether they'd let us host our events there. So we'd sort of done our budgeting and thought about how much this venues were going to cost and all this. We thought really professional. We had our proposals and everything.
Yeah.
We were a little bit nervous. So we started in Walkabout.
Oh, nice.
And the person that we needed to speak to wasn't there. So we were, oh God, that's the first one. I was a bit disappointed. And then we went to another venue and we managed to speak to the manager and he was really interested. Okay. He said, this sounds great. We've not done it before. And he said to us, how much is it going to cost me? And me and my friend like looked at each other like, oh, we thought we'd have to pay you. And it was just that moment of complete stupidity where we thought we didn't realise the value of taking 60 nervous daters into a bar at around about 7 o'clock where it's relatively quiet. And he was like, no, this is like a gift to me.
Oh, gosh. Now, it's quite funny because on our script that I painstakingly put together, I did kind of put little notes about any experience that you had about working in bars and events. Yeah. And you've already shared a story about
Sorry, I jumped the gun. Yeah.
So you looked ahead on the script.
I did not.
But
yeah, we did used to have them. Again, I won't say the bar, but yeah, we used to have them. And it was exactly that. It was on these quieter nights. Obviously, I used to work. This wasn't when I used to work in events, but I did used to work in events. On quieter nights, you're looking for ways to drum up business when, you know, your bar's not leaning more towards clubbing or anything like that. You're looking for these little things that are going to boost it, which is why stuff like puppy yoga is so profitable on a Sunday.
Sorry.
Puppy yoga.
Puppy yoga?
Puppy yoga.
Is that just downward dog? Is it?
No, it's yoga with little baby puppies.
Serious?
Yeah.
Who brings the where do you get the puppies from?
They're from, so you have a yoga instructor and they will have puppies that they breed. And then to help socialise these puppies, from puppies, they bring them...
Can you say puppies a few more times, please? I've not said it enough.
They bring them to these classes, socialise the dogs, you get to play with puppies, and everyone just does some nice, calm yoga.
Oh, that sounds quite
lovely.
Cute. That does sound
really,
quite
really
cute.
Sweet. But yeah, things like that. Paint and sip is booming at the minute. And slow dating. I think it's kind of taken over now, I believe, from speed dating. I think everything's kind of geared towards speed dating now. That's what the whole online space sort of has a monopoly on. You know, you just literally swipe. Yeah. So I think slow dating is kind of trying to do something a little bit different where it's still not meeting people organically, but you get a bit more of a connection with them. But yeah, it was something that on these quiet nights we would really enjoy because you just every now and again hear that little bell ring that means that they will have to get up and change tables. And I did have quite a lot of stories of girls coming up to the bar and being like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. And it's, but they're typically like in age ranges. So it's not the sort of classic of like this poor 20-year-old girl, the 60-year-old man that's come along.
No, exactly. And I think like I think like there is that whole value, isn't there, in just using your venue to whatever you, and thinking outside the box, being creative and...
Absolutely. I think, you know, the whole hospitality industry, especially bars, took such a huge hit during COVID, and they've really not recovered, and no one is going out or spending money like they used to. Yeah. People need a reason to go out now, which I think is why hospitality has stretched beyond just offering whatever drinks they offer, whatever food they offer. There's got to be something on now. There's this sense of like that you can't really go out unless you're doing something that sort of justifies the spend. So almost every bar, I think if you look near you, will have some kind of offering throughout the week of something that they put on, something that they do, whether it's salsa classes, pottery.
I've seen lots of those, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really, if you are a hospitality owner yourself or an events manager, it's definitely something that you're doing or looking into at the minute. And I think it is the way to go.
Agreed. People want that extra value. And it's one of the... similar to yourself, but kind of different. I clutch on straws that I used to work in hospitality. Because I used to sell, not the butlering thing. I think we've mentioned the butlering far too much.
I didn't know where you were going about.
But when I used to sell fire, food and ingredients, because I used to speak to, bar owners, restaurant owners, hotel owners. So you'd hear like the nitty gritty of what's going on behind the scenes. And this was like pre-COVID as well. So luckily I'd kind of got out of it, before COVID had hit, and obviously the implications thereafter. And I think, but you do slowly understand like the kind of pains they go through. And it's one of the reasons why we set up, well, originally the Leicestershire Business Network Group, but then Fresh Networking. So for those of you that don't know, we run a networking group called Fresh Networking now. But the idea was we'd take a big group of people into one of these venues, normally on a Monday night, because once again, that's normally the quieter night. You don't want to do it on a Friday where you've got people in. Which is what you want
for this kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And although we've not got the biggest budget, as a networking group, and I'd like to know your thoughts on this actually as well, because we've always said we will give a budget to the venue. It's not a lot, but we pay a certain amount per head to pay for, just a welcome drink and a bit of grub. And then obviously anything they make on the bar thereafter is all up to them. There are other networking groups out there who you might know, and you might know who I'm talking about, who don't pay per head, and they do the quote-unquote exposure.
Yeah, where they get to keep a business card from everyone that comes in.
Exactly.
I know.
We will bring, 30, 40 people into your so we'll put a video on LinkedIn for you, and you'll get to speak to all these people.
What's it called? Paid in exposure?
Yeah, exactly. Do you know exactly who I'm talking about? Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts? Is that a cheeky thing to do, or what?
I think it's so difficult because it really depends what kind of venue you are. We did an event at Sixes.
We did do an event, yeah.
Do Sixes want a big stack of business cards for people that work in every sector known to man? Probably not. No. That's probably not very beneficial to them. I think they'd much rather take the cash and run.
Yeah, too right.
And even if it's just that you can pay people in exposure, not necessarily like in that cliche way, but not by, I'm going to post a video of this. You've just taken 40 people to a really great venue, and they're all going to know that venue's somewhere that's really fun. So it could just be that they've got themselves a new regular.
Exactly, and there are those benefits, but that's why we've tried to hit the barrel. Hit the barrel?
Hit the barrel?
I don't know. Is that even a saying?
No.
Have you ever hit the barrel?
I've never hit the barrel.
I was going to hit the barrel from 2 angles. What's the saying? We're going to hit the barrel. Okay, that's why we try and hit the barrel from both angles. Because we say, look, we will give you we'll get people in the door, people that might not have necessarily come in before, but we'll also pay for it as well.
Has Connor ever told you about our first ever interaction?
Yours and Connor's?
Connor Van Dyke.
Oh no. Is this safe to be recorded?
I believe so.
Okay.
Connor, I knew before you had ever contacted me, because he contacted me back when I worked at a undisclosed bar.
Okay, yeah.
He messaged me about using the event space.
Really?
Yeah, he did.
He's a sneaky little snake, isn't he?
He did, definitely.
Is that Connor? Were you there when we went in for pizza?
No.
We went in because this bar are renowned for doing... Right, we've got issues now, right?
It's a different bar, the one that I'm talking about.
Oh.
I'm talking about the old one. You can tell your story anyway.
Oh, okay. But this bar I'm talking about are very well known for their quote-unquote free lunches.
Oh,
and free giveaways, and then all of a sudden you're struck with £100-200 bill at the end of it. Yeah. So you weren't there then?
I wasn't there.
No. Then. Okay. Fair enough. We'll let you go. But I do think you are right. I know Connor was connected with you sooner, but I know we were connected for a long time, because I do recall, I think you put a post out quite a while ago when you graduated. And you posted a photo of you graduating. So I can remember that from
I did. My old little graduation picture with my blonde hair.
That's right, with your blonde hair. And then I later found out you got blue hair once upon a time. But that's maybe a different conversation.
Very different story.
For a different day. But look, for those of you who have yet to listen to the Jayne Brewer episode, please do go back and give it a listen. She was a great sport. Obviously, as always, it's available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. It's literally available everywhere.
Literally everywhere. We've got the video version of the podcast.
You can watch the video on YouTube. Yeah.
If you want to see that my hair is no longer blonde, or if you just want to see our lovely faces.
Well, you're not in that one.
Oh, for goodness sake. Well, it's brown anyway, and you can watch the other ones.
Exactly. And look, as always, we really appreciate you listening to this episode. Please do make sure you hit the follow button, give it a good review, rating.
Leave us 5 stars. We really appreciate it.
We absolutely do. What does the script say, Sophia?
Close off.
So
Sophia.
I think we've done, so if we look here, general chit chat, summary, start to close. So that's what I've done.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So I think you stepped on my feet a little bit, to be honest.
I apologise.
So
I'll go hit the barrel over here a second.
Until next time, it's been so lovely speaking with you, Rob-ish. And we hope that there was at least maybe one little piece of useful advice in there for you guys to listen to, or at least that you had a little chuckle.
We've just seen like 20% of the people sign up to slow dating somewhere.
Yeah, and if you met anyone slow dating or speed dating, or if you have any stories, please share them with us. We really want to hear them.
Sorry, this might kill me, but
What?
I think I've been really nervous since Matt Glover's episode, but I've got a really good story to tell about yoga.
Oh, for goodness sake, go on then.
Well, I'll tell this, then you can quickly close off. Okay. But I tried to take up yoga once. I tried to take it up. I did a bit on the Wii Fit, and I was like, I'm quite into this, so I'll call an instructor up. So I called up my local yoga instructor, and I said, look, I want to get into yoga, quite a beginner, I'm new to it. What would you recommend? She went, well, how flexible are you? I said, I can do any day but Tuesday.
Right. I'm going to raise the price of microphones. Not everyone gets the privilege to talk.
I'll let you close off.
That's everything from us. Really hope you enjoyed Rob's dad joke. And I really hope that you enjoyed the episode. We're really enjoying doing these little recap episodes. They're so fun to make. We sat in our little booth, giggling along. And I'm sure that we probably laugh more than anyone else.
We do need to share
really
a video of us in our booth.
Oh yeah, definitely. When what shall we say? 1,000 followers, we'll show the setup.
Good shout.
There we go.
On what platform? Collectively.
Collectively. The first one to hit 1,000. There we go. Right. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll catch you in the next one.
See you later.